Over the course of this Thursday and Friday, a judge in the county court here in Belfast will be asked to decide whether or not Asher's Baking Company and its directors, Colin and Karen MacArthur, unlawfully discriminated against Mr. Gareth Lee. Mr. Lee claims that Asher's acted unlawfully in declining to supply him with a cake bearing both the slogan "Support Gay Marriage" and the logo of the gay rights group Queerspace. Mr. Lee says that Asher's refusal to produce his cake amounts to discrimination. Discrimination on the grounds of sexual orientation, discrimination on the grounds of religion and belief, and discrimination on the grounds of political opinion. Because Mr. Lee says that he intended to use this cake to express his opinion, to further his campaign to the effect that the law should be changed to allow for same-sex marriage. Although his money was refunded in full, Mr. Lee seeks damages from Asher's for injury to feelings. Now, this is despite the fact that Mr. Lee still managed to find a bakery able and willing to supply him with his cake and to supply it on time and to his design. You will know that Mr. Lee is bringing his case with the backing of the state-funded Equality Commission, whilst Asher's are being ably represented by the firm Hewitt and Gilpin solicitors, who have engaged barristers to act on their behalf. And with the generosity of our supporters, the Christian Institute are meeting all the defence costs in full. As Christians, Colin and Karen maintain that it is lawful for them and their company to refuse to promote a moral or political cause to which they have a fundamental objection. They haven't broken any laws. But in any event, they themselves have rights. They have the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion, and the right to freedom of expression. And these are rights which are guaranteed under the European Convention on Human Rights and are incorporated into UK law. Although not involved in the case itself, leading human rights lawyer Aidan O'Neill QC has provided a legal opinion regarding the implications for freedom of conscience and freedom of expression arising from this case. And Mr. O'Neill highlights the rights which Colin and Karen have under international human rights laws. For example, the case law of the European Court of Human Rights maintains that bearing witness in words and deeds is bound up with the existence of religious convictions. And the right to freedom of expression under Strasbourg case law includes the right not to say something with which one disagrees. Indeed, the United Nations Human Rights Committee has observed this: any form of effort to coerce the holding or not holding of any opinion is prohibited. Freedom to express one's opinion necessarily includes freedom not to express one's opinion or an opinion. But according to the Equality Commission, Colin and Karen and their business should be required to endorse an opinion, support for same-sex marriage, an opinion which they do not in fact hold. As Aidan O'Neill QC has explained, Colin and Karen's refusal to endorse this opinion has resulted in the state, in the form of the Equality Commission, funding court action against them, which seeks to stigmatise their beliefs. Now, the Commission appears to place great weight on the decision of the United Kingdom Supreme Court in the case of Preddy and Hall v. Bull and Bull. And you will be familiar with this case. It's, of course, the Cornish bed and breakfast case, and we'll be hearing from Hazelmary Bull later this evening. But the Supreme Court decision in Preddy and Bull was decided with reference to the particular circumstances of that case. In fact, the 5 judges in the Supreme Court were split over the central issue in the case, with each adopting different reasons for their decision. In Aidan O'Neill's opinion, the decision in the Bull case does not support the discrimination case against Ashers. Indeed, Mr. O'Neill does not believe that the approach of the Equality Commission is correctly based in law. But he concludes that if that approach were to be right, then the implications would indeed be very far-reaching. Were the Commission to be right, there would be no defence into similar actions being taken against individuals or against companies supplying services in a number of other scenarios. A Muslim printer refusing a contract requiring the printing of cartoons of Muhammad. A Christian film company refusing to produce a pornographic film. A Christian baker refusing to take an order to make a cake celebrating Satanism. A t-shirt company owned by lesbians declining to print t-shirts with a message describing same-sex marriage as an abomination. And a printing company run by Roman Catholics declining an order to produce adverts calling for abortion on demand to be legalized. Now, these scenarios may seem quite dramatic, but it's difficult to see how the position could be otherwise if the Equality Commission is correct. But there is still a long way to go. We don't know what the outcome of the hearing will be, and we would not expect a decision from the judge immediately. I expect she will want to carefully consider the case before making a judgment, weighing up the evidence she's heard, including from Daniel MacArthur and from Karen MacArthur, as well as the complex legal arguments that will be made to her. So, ultimately, we pray for a fair hearing, because this case has important implications for religious liberty and for freedom of expression. It is about much, much more than whether Ash's Baking Company should have provided a cake to one particular customer on one particular day in May last year.